Hello again. Wanted to get a little sound sample on some amazing sopranos. I've got a couple of loaners in here, and I've got some that are mine. And I just thought with a nice selection of sopranos, it would be real good to get all of them in one video where you can kind of tell maybe some of the differences in them. At least that's my thoughts. I'm going to start with this amazing Kamaka Deluxe white label soprano. I think this is around a 70s model, but I'm not positive of that. I can't remember that for sure now. That's what I was thinking. Absolutely stunning ukulele. Check out the chatoyance in that top. It doesn't really show up on the video as good. Pictures show up really nice. This is an absolutely stunning oak. This was a loaner sent to me to be able to try out. Can you believe somebody would send me their Kamaka? Absolutely stunning instrument in every way. Very smooth, warm, sweet. It's really easy to get the tone, to flow on it. These are Aquila strings. The owner wasn't positive what these are, maybe Nile guts. I thought they might have even been sugars. When I first got it, it was a little bit squeaky for me, but that went away pretty quick. These are the strings that was on it when the now owner received it, and so they're not 100% positive of what these are. This oak weighs 353 grams, has its original friction tuners and everything. Has a 36.5 millimeter nut. Now that's just me measuring it. I'm not sure what they're classified as, but when I put my measuring tape on it, this is what I get is a 36.5 millimeter. Extremely comfortable neck on this oak. Has a very, I guess you would say that's a flat C shape maybe. I'm not exactly sure about the descriptions of the necks, but it is, very flat on the back, nice rounded edges, and it's a very, narrow, thin profile. And I mean, it just has a really good feel to it. I've got plenty of room, to get to my, my upper and lower frets and everything. Even though it's a very small headstock, this oak feels smaller to me than really the other oaks, the other sopranos here. It's when I'm holding it and playing it, it just feels a little smaller, and not really in a bad way in any way. I ain't got nothing bad to say about this oak. It just really, it's loud. I just absolutely adore that. I will definitely, have to keep me an eye out for one of these little, and I think this is a special body shape that was, on certain years or something, the wider, top bout. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I think it was called a Ditson style. Not positive of that. Then we compare that with another Hawaiian oak for the second one. This is my very own KoAloha KSM01 Pineapple Soprano. Amazing stripy koa on this one. This was actually a Christmas present from a dear ukulele friend that I made on Ukulele Underground. I'm as blown away by the amazing oak as I am the amazing friend that would give me such a gift as this. The oak is seriously just absolutely stunning. Very, very loud. It's the loudest soprano I have here, which like the Kamaka. The Kamaka is not missing anything. It's extremely loud also. But this oak is louder than most of my concerts even. I mean, just very punchy, bright. It really fills up a room. weighs 341 grams, and that it has had a tuner upgrade, which actually going to these Darjung tuners. You know, I kept the KoAloha buttons on them. I actually saved a few grams from the original KoAloha tuners. Those original KoAloha friction tuners have a lot of steel in them and are kind of heavy. But I measured a 37 millimeter nut on this one. I've heard, you know, people say, I thought that, you know, these are 38 millimeters, but according to my measurement, I got 37 millimeter. Very, very comfortable to play. A little bit thicker of a profile on the neck than the Kamaka has. A little bit more rounded profile, but extremely, extremely comfortable to play. Fits my hand really nicely. You know, no complaints. I love you know, all the extra room above the nut on the KoAloha ukuleles. You know, I really feel like you got a lot of extra real estate up there, you know, for you know, big fat chubby hands to fit into, to be able to reach the lower frets really easy. You know, it keeps the tuners up away from my hands a lot more. I really like that. And no complaint on, you know, the other ones in any way. This one's just, you know, seems like it's got so much extra space. I just thought that was worth mentioning. Next, we'll do another American-made uke, but not Hawaiian. This is a Gretsch Sherwood. I restored this little, well, not really restored this ukulele. I kind of did some redneck ingenuity on it, and got the intonation fixed on it, and was able to get it a good setup and everything, you know, get it good in playing condition. This is labeled, you know, Sherwood, made by the Gretsch. Beautiful little oak with binding and all on it. Amazing mahogany on this one. No staining or nothing, you know, it's just, you know, very dark aged mahogany. Very beautiful sound. This one is actually strung with oh, and I didn't tell on my pineapple KoAloha, but that is UKSA strings. Supposed to be the original strings that came on those. This one is strung with Martin M600 strings. Very plunky and perky and loud. That one kind of sounds out of tune. Let me check that just real fast. I use an app on my phone instead of a clip-on tuner. Alright, yeah, it was just out a little bit. Didn't sound right to me. This uke weighs 343 grams. It has a 38.5 millimeter nut, you know, according to my measurements. I have done a tuner upgrade on this one. Upgraded it to Waverly friction tuners. These are, you know, probably actually heavier than the stock tuners. They are, you know, got a lot of metal in them, but they work really, really nicely on this. And well, they look real good on it too. But absolutely amazing little uke right there. The next one we'll do, this is a German-made soprano, Bruko. This is just an absolutely gorgeous ukulele, bird's eye maple, absolutely nice. It's absolutely stunning satin finish on it. That bird's eye maple is just gorgeous. I'm not sure it really shows up that good in the video. All the little eye spots and things in it. This has a rounded, bold back on it. That, I mean, really, you know, I mean, a nice, you know, nice sizable bowl to it. I absolutely love the construction of the ukulele. It's very, just very, very beautiful. This one has had a tuner upgrade, has a Durjun planetary tuners installed on it. I think they also came with friction tuners as stock. And it weighs 391 grams and has a 36 millimeter nut. Has a little bit thicker profile of a neck. The Brukos, they kind of have a little dip, dipping into the headstock, but it's very rounded and I mean, nice big round, shape to it. It's very comfortable for me. I do like thinner ones, but to be honest, I mean, there's no, I can't say, this feels bad to play or anything like that. But it is just a little bit thicker, which even like on the KoAloha pineapple, it's fairly thick also. I would not, the Bruko probably got it beat a little bit on thickness, but it has a little bit more of a rounded profile than say that Kamaka did, and the Gretsch has a nice thin profile too, a little bit flatter, kind of like the Kamaka, but not quite as thin profiled or nor as flat as the Kamaka's profile. But the Bruko is just absolutely stunning. I've always heard people talk about the Bruko sound, had a unique sound and everything. You ask them what it sounds like, they say it sounds like a Bruko. But I kind of get that now. It's a little quieter than the other Sopranos here. Not extremely quiet, but it is a little bit quieter. It has a very spunky little sound to it. I like that a lot. Oh, this one is currently strung with a Nui. It's not Blue Planets, but it's a Nui Blue strings. The green ones are called Green Planets, and that's all that comes to my mind right now. But these are the Nui Blue strings, and I absolutely love those Nui strings. Very, very, very nice quality sound on just about every uke I've ever tried them on. Do a little Japanese made ukulele. This is a little laminate, all mahogany, but it is laminated wood. A little famous. This is the Japanese brand for the Kiwaya company. This was a little special collaboration with a luthier in Japan. I won't say his name right if I try to say it right now. The model of this is a FN 180 strung with Aquila Reds. The Aquila Reds on this are very, very nice. This suit weighs 360 grams, has a 35.5 millimeter nut. That's the thinnest nut width of all of them here. A very narrow, thin profile on the neck, flat. This is very reminiscent of the Kamaka neck to me, but is more rounded. It's It's got got some flatness to it, not quite as flat as the Kamaka, and a little bit more rounded, but still that very narrow depth, and I really like that. Each one of these oaks are all stunning. Like I said, there's no real coals here. just really gets me every time I play it, which, well, I mean, that's what I look for in a soprano period is, you know, I want to be able to, well, in any of my ooks, you know, I like it to, you know, pick it up and play it and think, wow, you know what I mean? That's what I look for in a ook. Love that pineapple. A little Gretsch. No matter how rare, pretty, or expensive the ukulele is, it doesn't really help to play. You can play bad on any of them. See? Well, that's a long video. I've got a little comparison of them. I appreciate you hanging in there and watching. And I guess you noticed my little hair bow. Got to tie the beard up to try to keep it out of the ukulele strings now. You know, maybe I'll get some pretty ones to put on there for you or something next time. Y'all have a good one. Thank you for watching.